for more on the macro outlook as we kick off the fresh trading week. Pete McGuire joining us from XM. Pete, always good to chat on a Monday morning. You're going to set us up for the week. Now, what did you make of that consumer sentiment read out of the States? I mean, obviously there is a lot of concern from consumers, and I guess they're feeling it at the moment in terms of inflation.
Absolutely, Andrew. Good morning, Kara. We've been discussing it for many months with you, Andrew, and we hit 6.2%. So that's a 31-year high. I listened to Larry Summers over the weekend, the Harvard prof, and it really is major concern moving forward. How quickly do the states look at ratcheting rates up, and what impact it's having naturally to the carry trade? That's the business we're in. Currency trading primarily, and what's happening with that US dollar, we're at 16-month highs. So all of that wrapped together. Last week demonstrated such an enormous week, and have a look at the price of gold as far as that risk and the realisation, inflation's really coming to bite us.
Pete, what's in the docket this week that might bolster that US dollar rally that we've seen?
Well, you've got a host of data, Kara. We've got Japan, we've got China, we've got Canada, US, a little bit coming from us, and of course the UK. Have a look what's happened to the pound in the last week or week and a half. So really the whole market, I think, is offering so many opportunities. Last week was extraordinary, and this week could even be better. So big moves, volatility, and that's what traders are after. Don't marry a trade.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned China, of course. There's quite a bit of data coming out today, in fact. What are you looking for? Because, of course, there's that ongoing concern just of how slow and that negativity that's coming out of China at the moment. Of course, there's more detail, or perhaps lack of detail, just as far as what's going on with COVID there at the moment.
Yeah, the COVID numbers certainly a concern, Andrew, and of course keeping our eye very much focused on the Evergrande story, which hasn't gone away, and the impact as far as the property sector there. We understand, it's 30% of their GDP, and how that unravels from a debt side. So that could be another close story to really follow leading up to Christmas. And the whole situation there in China moving forward. You've got the retail sales, you've got a lot of other data being released. I'm looking at what impact that's going to have to the Aussie dollar here. And I think, again, currency and the big trades are going to be quite electric this week.
What's going on in the oil market? Because we've seen those prices dampen, haven't we?
Yeah, I think it was exhausted to the upside a little bit. I still think that there's many talking out there as far as analysts, Kara, that $90 handle, and there's a lot of news and a lot of thoughts. Are we going to hit that 121? That seems to be the magic number. It's a long way from here, and certainly, hopefully, we don't hit that 121 number. That'd be a 50% move to the upside from where we are at the moment. So maybe there's going to be a little bit of consolidation. I wouldn't be surprised. It's just, that hot air's taken out of it. That US dollar's moved up to 16-month high. So that could be another reason why the price of oil is taking a little bit of a breather. And I think a lot of the smart money looked at gold last week, Kara, where it really had a big move up, nearly $100 in the week. So we're sitting at that 1870 handle or 1868. Are we going to hit 1900 very, very shortly? That's the question.
Well, what are your thoughts there, Pete? Because obviously this is on those inflation concerns, yet the yields are tending to remain sort of subdued at the moment. So that's obviously conducive for gold moving higher.
Well, yes, Andrew, and I think the other side, of course, is how quickly does the Fed look at, ratcheting rates up, and the UK, those news stories that I wouldn't be surprised to see delivered before the end of the year. So that's going to be a great impact to the markets moving into 22. How quickly do central banks look at containing the inflation story? And, people are saying if you're getting wage rises, and this is where it all becomes so intriguing, what happens as far as, the consumption levels and retail sales and consumer-led recovery if inflation's galloping? And I saw numbers there. If you put in because the inflation metrics to measure inflation, if we use the metrics that we looked at in 1980, and a lot of those have been taken out, we would be sitting at around about 14%. So that is a major hurdle and a major concern. And, you know, with negative interest rates or zero, how's that going to be moving forward?
I always ask, Aussie dollar calls this week. Are we going to head towards that 72 handle, do you think?
Yeah, maybe a bit softer from here, you know, though I wouldn't be surprised. I'm worried about the numbers coming out of China, and that probably with the US dollar, if that continues its upward movement, then yeah, well, I think we'll see a 72 handle for 73 and a quarter. So yeah, a little bit of excitement across that currency complex as well, Kara.
Pete, always great to chat. Thanks so much for joining us this morning from XM.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Kara.